Kauffman. I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is where we discuss what and who we are in this journey called life. Thank you, Susan. Now, this is going to be kind of strange tonight because I have YouTube streaming here, and the chat is going to be over here. And then I've got Facebook streaming over here on my phone. So we're going to try this again tonight. So I'm getting a thing that I don't have any sound over here. All right, let's see what I can do for that. Sound. If somebody could on YouTube see if there is sound for anybody else other than the one person I have on here. I just want to make sure that it's like I tested all this stuff beforehand. Of course, you know, we're always trying something new, and you never know really how this is gonna work out. How about you guys over here on Facebook? Are you hearing me okay? And do you have sound over here on Facebook? Let me do some quick waves. Oh, thank you guys for the wonderful comments about my hair. Okay, so Kim's saying can't really hear you. Okay. So I need to look at why that is. Okay. Hmm. I'm looking, just give me a minute really quick to see what is going on with the audio on YouTube. Hmm. Let's see. Let's try something else. Okay, YouTube, holler out and let me know if that is any better. Um, and let me check one other thing. The picture looks good. Okay. Yes, better. Okay, thank you, Jesus. Now, it's going to be hard for me to keep up with two chats, but I'm really going to try to do my best on this. Okay, so let's do some quick shout outs. Hey to Kim Mintz and Taya Moore. Over here on Facebook, Laura Day, Susan Nisi, my best buddy, Melissa Begley, and her little sidekick, Miss Cleo. I love those two so much. They are such sweet people. I love them. Okay. Tristan, hey to you. And I'm trying to look at the feed is just going by so fast. So please forgive me if I miss anybody. I'm trying not to. And hey to Tristan. Okay. And I think there was Melissa, another Melissa on there that I saw. But I'm not seeing it now. So thank you for all the hearts. Okay, we're going over a really important topic this evening, and that's reactivating homewards. Because if you watch a lot of TV or a lot of movies where people are going in to do a cleansing of the property, and you know, please understand that the things that are presented on TV are made for TV, okay? And so when the people come in to do the cleansing or to place homewards, it's like a one meal deal, and everything is gone after that one cleansing, and no one ever has to redo anything, and that is just so not what reality is. And I'm going to explain why that is. When we do psychic protection on a home or placing home wards, the ward actually holds the energy of protection around the property. And so, we will place home wards up to provide psychic protection for people. Let me make sure there's no questions over here. And this is a different type of setup that I'm doing. So if I miss somebody's question, I'm really, really sorry. But I will go back after the show and make sure that I look at everything and make sure that all your questions are answered. So, reactivating home wards. How do you imbue a home ward with psychic protection or with any type of protection? The very act of thinking or thought, and this is a definition of thought. Thought is the act or action of carefully thinking about details of something. So it is an act or action, which means that there is psychokinetic energy behind the thought. So psychokinetic energy is what you're using from the creation of a thought to imprint energy on a home ward. Now, this chat box over here for YouTube, I don't know about it now. So you guys on YouTube, can you kind of type some stuff in there for me? Maybe a question or two, so I can make sure that this chat box is working. Like a few things came through, but I'm really not sure about it. So, what we're doing when we imbue a ward with protection is we are imprinting psychokinetic energy from thought. And let's see. Hey to Andrea Bueno and Mark and Susan Blanford. And a special shout out to Rob Abbott, my hoodoo man. Good to see you here tonight. Andy Hollis, Sam Montgomery, good to see you. Jill Jones. And here's another thing really weird that's happening with this Facebook feed is when I go to scroll down to see who is on here, it like goes back to the top again. And I'm losing all the people that are just joining. Hey to Jackie Klinkenberg, Andy Hollis. Thank you for the sound checks. Awesome. And I'm not seeing any more activity on the YouTube chat box, so I'm really not convinced that it's working. Oh well. We may do it a different way next time. Who knows? So a common example of the energy and transfer is when you have an object and you're wanting to transfer kinetic energy to another object, and let's say that's the domino effect. If you knock over a domino and then the kinetic energy hits the next domino and it releases kinetic energy, and then you have this cascade of kinetic energy, that's an example of kind of how energy is transferred from one object to another. So when you're imbuing a ward with energy, the psychokinetic energy of thought, because thought is an action, imprints on the item. Yes, Kim, thank you very much. I'm not sure of this new chat box on here, so I just needed that little confirmation that you guys are still watching. I would like to see everybody go over to the YouTube channel to watch the show. I will still keep streaming over here on Facebook, but it would make it a lot easier on me if you guys went over to the YouTube channel. Okay, so when we're talking about wards, we're talking about items that are best for conducting or holding electromagnetic energy. So the best items to use for wards would be any kind of crystals, metals, water, or salt, because they all are electromagnetic conductors, and they love electromagnetic energy, and it makes it imprint a lot better onto the item. So whatever, and I do have another video about what wards are. And so after the show, I will leave a link to that video in the comments so that if anybody wants to go watch the show about wards, you can. Okay. Hey to Kitty Literal. So we know that we are imprinting by action. It's the use of psychokinetic energy, and the items used need to be conduct or hold electromagnetic energy. So the thought transference is done by psychokinetic imprint and quantum entanglement. And so what we're doing is the mental thought is establishing an entanglement between two quanta. So for those of you that kind of watch and study about quantum physics, it's the quantum entanglement between the thought and the psychokinetic energy and the imprintable ward that is creating this transference. So, and for those of you that don't know what a quanta is in physics, a quantum, or that's the energy, energy is quantum, but plural is quanta. So when I talk about two things like the mind, the thought, and the psychokinetic energy, and I'm talking about the ward, the imprintable object, these are quanta. Now, once you imprint onto your ward that packet of energy, it naturally attenuates. And most energy, once you place it, does attenuate. Hey to Christy Osborne Glass, good to see you. So in physics, attenuation simply means if you take, well, let's say if you take a light beam, as the light beam propagates in matter owing to the joint action of the absorption and scattering of light. So the wave scatters and it diminishes or decreases. And the wave action from the energy is what we are seeing as it extends and it disperses and it scatters. It naturally attenuates or it naturally decreases. So when you go to place a ward, the energy is not going to stay full and at its full force. And that just doesn't happen. Okay. So all energy does scatter, disperse, attenuate, it diminishes. So attenuation decreases the intensity of the electromagnetic radiation due to the absorption or scattering of the photons or other types of energy. The primary causes of attenuation in matter are the photoelectric effect, Compton scattering, and there's just the general wave or photon energies. They just naturally decrease as they scatter out. So there's nothing that you can do to prevent attenuation. It just naturally happens. Hey to Pamela Thompson. Now, so I got a question last week about how often should you redo or reactivate your home wards. And it only makes sense to follow the natural seasonal changes. Like if what I usually suggest that people do is when you place a home ward and the attenuation starts at that moment, let's say it feels pretty good for about 3 months, and then after 3 months, you notice that things are starting to happen again. What you want to do is reactivate your home wards and redo your cleansing once every 3 months for, let's say, a year. And then wait and see if you can't go a little bit longer, because entities will try to re-enter at regular intervals, but it's just like anybody else. Once they encounter that barrier, they may just give up and move on if you keep your reactivation regular. Okay. Hey to Sheila June Suddenly, good to see you. So at first go by however many months you can go without reactivation. And if it's 3 months, do that for a year. And then at the end of the year, see if you can go for 6 months without anything. And you may be able to go to this seasonal change regimen, which is what most people actually end up with after, doing more frequent reactivation and cleansing. The seasonal change is a natural transition. Fall is a natural attenuation, and spring is a natural concentration of energy. And the natural flow or change of the season is a good pattern to follow for reactivating your home wards. And when you reactivate your home wards, what you're going to do is remove them from the location that you have them in. That's why I suggest that when people bury crystals around their property, don't do it very deep, and be sure you have a marker there where you can see where you put the crystal so that it's not hard to get it back out. Another thing I want to say about buried crystals is that because of the natural grounding effect of the earth, that will speed up the attenuation process. So you will often have to redo the home wards that are in the earth more frequently than if they are not buried. And that is just because the earth naturally grounds out or sucks that energy out of the crystal. But that's a natural thing that happens. Okay, so the earth's naturally sequencing signals inhabitants to make changes, and that can naturally signal us to reactivate our home wards. So it's not hard to keep up with how often should I redo that if you simply just follow the natural seasonal changes. And seasonal changes, if you weren't aware, as the Earth orbits the sun, its tilted axis always points in the same direction. So throughout the year, different parts of the Earth get the sun's direct rays, and that's what produces our season. The Earth hasn't moved away. It's always tilted, but at certain points in the revolution, um, parts of the Earth are not getting the sun's direct rays, and that's what causes us to have fall and winter. Hey to Pat Miley, good to see you. Let's see. Let me check for questions. I saw a question, but as soon as I touched the screen, it went away. Oh my god, I hate that. Okay. So Rob says, indeed, words can take so many hits. Absolutely. Just like talismans, amulets, and charms. And we have done a show on amulets and charms too. So I'll try to find that video to leave for you. So Sandra says, like striking a bell, the vibrational energy lessens until you no longer hear it. And that is an extremely good analogy, Sandra. Thanks for adding that to the show. That's really nice. Thank you, Kitty. Um, and so let's see here. I'm trying some new stuff. I'm trying some new stuff. So we'll see how it goes. So this was a quick show tonight because I did too much over Thanksgiving and got a little bit of a headache tonight. So I wanted to present something really quick for you guys for your consideration. I hope I covered it okay. I'm still not wild about this chat box over here on YouTube. I would like to see more activity on that. And I'm not sure about that. Oh well, I'll check it out. Anyway, let's go over what's happening next week. And I want to bend your ear for just a minute about the sponsor of the show. Stay Kentucky is a staycation site for everybody in Kentucky. If you want to know what events and festivals are still going on for 2020 and you want a nice, reasonably priced Airbnb and really good recommendations, like top-notch recommendations on restaurants and other like local secret places to go, visit Stay Kentucky site. Now let's take a look at our sponsor. There we go. Oh, next week. And I'm sorry for you guys over here on Facebook. You're not able to see the intros and the sponsorship and stuff. Hey to my lovely cousin, Grace Bonepale. You'll have to catch the replay because I'm fixing to hop off here. But I'm glad to see that you tuned in. Next week, and this was another question that I got from my clients. And I want you guys to know all of these shows, um, the topics for all of the shows are brought up by clients in sessions on more than one occasion. So what I do is I see what questions are being asked and then I put them on the show content, because in a session with my client, it's only 60 minutes and I can't answer every question that they have, but questions that they do have, they can come to the YouTube channel and find out the answers to. So next week, we are looking at, and this one is for you, Kim Mintz, environmental factors that affect spirit communication. So, Kim, tune in for that. Hey to Carrie Sue, I miss you over here in the neighborhood. I wish you guys are still here, but I know you have to go on to bigger and better things with your new property. So, kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you guys next time.